Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 16th, the day after you finish filing your taxes, supposedly. And I hope all of you were able to get that done in time, and I hope all of you were satisfied with the result. I had to pay an unusual amount of money because I made an unusual amount of money last year. So I paid it. Not happy about it, not 100% happy about it, but I recognize the system is the system and it works well, and so I did my duty to pay my taxes on time. And now I'm here to talk to you about something that is totally crazy, because the President of the United States wants to be able to deport U.S. citizens and imprison them abroad. Now why? Why would a thing like that come into Trump's mind? Why would he be wasting his time on some ruling about deporting U.S. citizens and imprisoning them in some foreign place? He said he doesn't care if the person is a homegrown criminal or some other kind of criminal, I don't know the difference between a homegrown criminal and another kind of criminal. A criminal is a criminal. Are we going to differentiate how bad criminals are? Yes, but only by their deeds. Not by whether they're male or female, young or old. It's the deed that matters. So if you have done some terrible deed or some illegal deed, then you should be in prison. But that doesn't mean you should be allowed to be shipped off to some place like El Salvador. That would be extra punishment in my mind. Although I don't know, prisons are in El Salvador or any other place are worse or better than our prisons. To me, a prison is a prison. And he's thinking about building larger mega prisons. Trump wants to be able to build a large mega prison. And apparently we have such a prison in this country. It's the notorious terrorism confinement center, known as CCOT something. And that is where deportees are kept in communal cells holding up to 100 for 23 and a half hours each day. Now, I hope that extra half hour allows them to do a little bit more than piss. If you're cooped up in a prison cell for 23 and a half hours, do you have the right to go to the bathroom? Isn't that a crazy thought? But that's what I'm reading here. Trump is talking about creating a prison with communal cells that can hold up to 100 people. That's pretty tight quarters. I can remember being at college and high school ceremonies in crowded auditoriums where everybody had a seat, and that was not a pleasant experience all the time. So we're going to create communal cells that hold 100 men each? What are the dimensions? How much room are they given to each one of these detainees, I will call them. The answer to that question is no. But Trump has been palling around with El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, and has tried to convince him to build cells like that we in the United States could use to ship our prisoners there. How about that? Is Trump out of his mind? Does he want us to ship U.S. citizens to foreign countries to be imprisoned? And he's talking to the president of El Salvador to make room and to do the job for him? And we, as U.S. citizens, are listening to this crap? This is a form of madness. U.S. citizens should not be shipped overseas. They should be kept in prisons in the United States. If you have a U.S. citizen imprisoned overseas, you are putting him and his family in untold, unrealistic lives. A life of imprisonment outside the U.S. where your family can't get to you on a regular basis? That is a form of torture. We should not even be considering it. Trump should be ashamed of himself for speaking about that. But he can't be ashamed because he believes in all these idiotic ideas. But if you, in this country, perform a deed that is illegal or dangerous or whatever, you should be kept here to pay your punishment. That is absolute. It's almost like a right. Like it should be in the Bill of Rights. You can't be shipped overseas if you've committed a crime in the U.S. Now, I don't know why El Salvador has offered to house the detainees of any nationality. Maybe they're making some money off of this thing, huh? How about that? El Salvador's a poor country, and one of the ways they have is creating an industry to hold prisoners from other nations for a fee, of course. So this whole thing with deporting U.S. citizens and imprisoning them abroad is a disgrace that it's even mentioned, that it's even talked about, that it gets news views, that it shows up online in the papers. Donald Trump should be ashamed of him, but I doubt that could ever occur to him. So have a great day. Take care. Bye.